Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of my merchanting series. However, just before I start the episode, if you want to listen to why I've not really made many videos over the last 2 months, and why things like my JAD videos have seemed to stop, then, carry on listening. But if you don't really care about that, if you just want to see the merchanting video, then just skip ahead to the time which I'm showing on screen now. And I'm going to assume that you'll be skipping or you've skipped. So if you are wondering, why haven't I made videos, why have things like my JAD videos just stopped, then the reason is I just don't really have that much motivation to play anymore. And I think it's because things like bots, obviously, when you see it everywhere just full of bots, and people are able to play the game well without playing it, and they're just getting money or levels without working for it, it kind of just ruins any achievements or any goals that you set yourself. And then you've got things like merchanting. For me, is probably the thing that I've spent most time on in the game out of anything. And knowing that someone who just abuses something like the Crucible glitch for just one day, sets up a bot and does it for like one day, is able to make all of the money I've made over 4 years of merchanting, that just kind of, it makes you feel like, what's the point? And I'm sure a lot of you guys who have played like, I hate to say the word, but legitimately, then you can probably see what I'm coming from. You've probably got the same opinion as me. And when you're maxed, when you've spent a lot of time, and the only thing you're really interested in now is merchanting, and you're seeing bots just effectively get maxed, and people just abusing glitches to get as much money as I have, and things like dicing, even though they made the update saying they banned people who were real world trading and doing the dicing, that was alright, but it should have happened a lot earlier. And all stuff like that, it just kind of makes me lose motivation. So if you guys have any ideas on how I could start to enjoy the game again, then feel free to let me know in the comments. And I have had quite a few suggestions over PM and on my channel wall, I guess it could be called. People have left me comments on my channel, and it's great to see stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to leave me some suggestions, then I'll make sure I give them all a read. But apart from that, that's why I've not really made videos. And yeah, so we'll start the actual episode. So whether or not you skip that or listen through to it, we're going to start episode 7 now. I'm starting with a cash pile of 177 mil. My in-game time to start with was 23 hours, and you can see some of my previous achievements. I managed to get myself my first rare, which was the Easter egg. I managed to hit 100 mil cash pile. I bought myself a red Halloween mask, and I owned a full Virtus set in the last episode. So all that for the intro. We're going to start seeing my merchant, seeing the money I've made, so I hope you guys enjoy. So you can see from the first screenshot that the items that I'm trying to flip over the last few weeks have been third age items. And in this episode I'm just going to talk a bit more generally about flipping third age, as opposed to just saying what you can see on screen. So if you want to see the individual profits that I've made on the items, then have a closer look, pause the video if you want. Otherwise, just listen to how I merchanted them and just look at the screenshots of me flipping them. So the way I decided to flip them initially was I would instant buy an item, get a rough idea of the price, and then try and create a range around the instant buy price that I knew. I started off with helms, the third age melee helms, and you can see that I did a lot of trading with them, and they were really making a nice amount of money, as I was also flipping them, but they were also rising in price. So any I bought overnight had risen maybe 300, 400k on top of the margin I was making on them. So I was making around 1.5 mil per helm in some cases, which is a massive profit on an item which is quite cheap. And most of it was to do with it rising. And I did other things like helms, you can see on screen now, the mage hats. And the way I decided which items to do is I only had 200 mil, which is a lot of money, but when some of the items like the plate legs are around 80 to 90 mil, you can't really flip a lot of them. So I decided to choose the items which were quite cheap within each of the third age sets. However, with range, the most expensive piece is the body, then the ranged legs, and it was the ranged legs I did, and that was because things like the third age range cowls and the van braces, no one really buys them and uses them, and if no one's going to buy them, it's going to be a lot harder to merchant them and make a profit on them. And I did that because when you flip an item from each of the sections, their limits don't depend or don't affect any of the others. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you buy something like a third age kite shield and then a helmet, you're limited on third age melee, so you couldn't buy the plate body and the plate legs. However, you would be able to buy 2 pieces of third age mage or 2 pieces of third age range. So by buying third age range, the legs in most of the cases, third age mage hats, and third age full helmets, I was able to buy 6 pieces of third age instead of the 2 if I was only flipping third age melee. So I was flipping 3 times the amount that I would have normally been able to, so hopefully my profits would have been increased by 3 times as well. Now, as well as a third age, I did also do some other items. You may have seen some fish masks in some of the screenshots. However, they had started dropping, so they weren't making as much profit as they used to be doing. And I did also buy 1 Easter egg the entire 3 weeks, and it was the only rare I bought. However, if you knew the Crucible glitch, the idea was people dupe billions, they put it into rares, rares rise in price, and that seems a logical stage of events. So I bought myself an Easter egg, and I do kind of feel stupid showing the screenshot when I don't have the screenshot of me selling it. But basically, I logged in one day after I'd bought it, I saw that white power hats had dropped about 5%, and I figured that the rise had stopped, the item had peaked in price and was starting to come back down. So I instant sold my Easter egg then, and as far as I remember, it sold for about 71 mil. And like I said, I do feel a bit stupid showing the screenshot when I forget to have the one of it actually selling. But, taking advantage of what is a pretty obvious price rise, it only made me, a couple of mil. But if I did it on my main account, or I could have bought probably just below 3 Easter eggs, so maybe I could have invested it into different ways, like a Halloween mask or 2, and made a lot more money with it. And if you want to risk your money doing things like that, you can make a lot of easy profit. So to finish, you can see my adventure logs time shows 1 day and 2 hours, and if you can't do the maths, first of all you should be worried, but second of all I'm going to tell you that means I've played 3 hours in the last 3 weeks, which gives me a profit per hour which is quite crazy. So you can see the amount of money I've got now is 237 mil, which is 60 mil profit in the last 3 weeks in just 3 hours of in-game time, which gives me, I guess, a fake profit per hour of 20 mil per hour, which is crazy. And it's a shame I can't make that constantly. I'd probably play a lot more if I could. But apart from that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. Sorry for the lack of motivation, it isn't really my fault, but I can't be bothered to make the other videos that I'd normally do. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video. So cheers, guys.